Welcome back. I'm joined by Republican State Senator Barb Kirkmeyer from Weld County. You won your contested primary tonight. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you so much.
Was not close, but we brought you here because you know Colorado politics just about as well as anybody, and you're right in the middle of what's going on in what's been described as a civil war in the middle of your party. That's what the state chairman has said. We have talked earlier tonight about how the state party has endorsed in 18 contested Republican primaries. That was a break with tradition for your party.
Absolutely, it was.
Some people were in favor of it, some people were not. We're watching how it's playing out tonight, and it appears to just be an utter disaster for the Colorado Republican Party. We'll go through those numbers in a second, but knowing that that's how it appears to be turning out, does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. This is the second go-around. You know, they didn't endorse 2 years ago, but they put out the same kind of, candidates and pushed them forward kind of thing, and they lost in the primaries then. So I think maybe now they've learned that their message is not the right message.
Do you think so?
I hope so. I don't know if they've learned or not, but I hope so. I mean, it's pretty resounding, especially when it looks like all of the races in El Paso County, which is where Dave Williams is from, and the GOP party likes to kind of headquarter, if you will. All of their endorsed candidates are losing big, like losing big.
Let me ask you this, and it's kind of more of a big picture thing before we get into the individual races. Does Dave Williams and the leadership of your party, do they want to win or do they want to be pure? They would say you don't have to choose. The results would suggest you might have to choose, but what do you think? I
think they want to be pure. I don't think they really want to govern. I think they just want to be right and be who they are and not necessarily win. I think it's just more about them personally instead of about what's best for the state and how do we move our state forward, uplift Colorado, and really develop a vision for this state. I think it's pretty clear, though, given what some of the results we're seeing here tonight, that Dave Williams does not speak for the Republican Party, or at least Republicans in general, the 900,000 or so that we have in this state.
I would interrupt to say that Tim Hernandez is calling me. What he's doing is calling to tell me he did not concede. One of his folks texted me as well. Tim, if you're watching, I see your call. I can't take it. I'm on the air, but you did not concede. You just talked about big money. I thought he was saying that it was over. But again, Tim Hernandez calling to say he does not concede House District 4 on the west side. So we talked about the congressional races earlier, in which Lauren Boebert basically won under her own head of steam, while endorsed by the Colorado GOP in the 4th Congressional District. This is to represent Douglas, Loveland, Eastern Plains. On the western slopes, Jeff Hurd has been declared the winner there, beating a Colorado GOP-endorsed opponent. In the 8th Congressional District, this is Thornton up to Weld County, Gabe Evans has won, defeating a Colorado GOP-endorsed candidate. Now let's look at some state house races, other than Senator Kirkmeyer's, which we showed you. She won that one. Starting in Senate District 2. Pardon me, I got to go to my cheat sheet. This is Douglas County. This is Lisa Frizzell, who's trying to move from the House into the Senate. That is a commanding lead over Tim Arvidsson, who it came out in the waning days of this race that guy has got a rap sheet longer than my primary night cheat sheet. But that race would appear to be over, and another defeat for the Colorado GOP that endorsed against Lisa Frizzell. Let's go to Senate District 10. This is in Colorado Springs. This is a three-way brawl that might as well be WWE, because two of these men have actually been involved in a physical altercation with one another. Sitting State Senator Larry Liston and Rex Tompkins, who is the husband of the party chair down there, who's kind of far right, associated with Dave Williams. Larry Liston, the incumbent senator, an enormous advantage in that three-way race. There was just an AP call. The AP call is the 5th Congressional District for Jeff Crank over Dave Williams. The head of your party just lost a GOP primary in which he used party resources to promote himself and to attack his opponent. I know you've already said that he should resign. Should he resign tonight, tomorrow? How should this work?
It would be great if he'd just resign tonight. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's Dave Williams. I don't think he'll go down without a fight. And so I don't believe he's going to resign. I think he'll have excuses. He'll make up things. He'll talk about how all the rest of us are rhinos and we aren't speaking for the party and we don't know what we're doing. And I just don't see him resigning.
So there's no level of electoral defeat, do you think, that could displace him tonight?
No, because keep in mind, not only did, for example, Gabe Evans win big in CD8, his opponent was pushed into that race by Dave Williams. I mean, Dave Williams was handpicking people to jump into races. And they all are losing right now. And not just losing by a little bit, they're losing big. So I just don't think I don't think it's in his personality. I don't think he's got he's not a humble person to begin with. He's pretty self-righteous, and I just don't think he'll resign. So it's going to have to go to a vote, and we have the members to, at least get the vote to occur. I don't know if we get to 60%, but
that's what you would need in order to depose him as chair. Let's go to another race in the state Senate that is in Dave Williams' backyard. This is Senate District 12, which is in western El Paso County. This is the race between Adriana Cuva, who is endorsed by the Colorado GOP, going against El Paso County Commissioner Stan Vanderwerf. And this, again, is not close. I mean, this goes beyond just loss to repudiation level of the Colorado GOP endorsed candidates. Let's continue to move through these. I believe that House District 12 is, in fact, a rare bright spot for the Colorado Republican Party. This is in Boulder County. Mark Milliman is the GOP endorsed candidate. Look, all 2,000 Republicans in Boulder County have voted. That's a joke, guys. But Mark Milliman has a very large lead over Robert Mueller. So there is one race where it appears that the Colorado GOP might get a win. Let's go to the 20th House District. This is northern El Paso County. Again, Dave Williams' home base. And here you have a race between Jason Lupo, who is endorsed by the GOP, versus Jarvis Caldwell, who has worked in party politics for a couple of years. He worked there at the legislature? I believe that he did.
He did.
That's an enormous lead for Jarvis Caldwell. And again, over the GOP endorsed candidate. And the hits just keep on coming. District 21, also Colorado Springs. Here you've got another three-way race in which the Colorado GOP has endorsed against a sitting representative in Mary Bradfield. Not only did they endorse Bill Garlington, but they said, you know what? We'll endorse Jan Koester too. So they endorsed both of the people running against the incumbent. Is that smart strategy? If you can do third grade math, probably not, but that's what they did. And Mary Bradfield appears to be eating both of their lunch. Again, another El Paso County race in which the Colorado GOP has come up on the short end. Let's go to House District 43. This is Highlands Ranch. This is an interesting district because I know, Barb, that this is a district rather, that Republicans really think that they should hold. This is in Highlands Ranch. It's a closely split area, lean Republican area, and Bob Marshall, a Democrat, won it. First Democrat to win in decades there in Highlands Ranch. Laura Thomas, the controversial but very well-known Doug Koch commissioner, is running against the GOP-endorsed Matt Burcham in this race. If that holds and Matt Burcham is the general election candidate, how do you think Democrat Bob Marshall fares against him in Highlands Ranch?
We'll see. Bob Marshall was a Republican prior to running, a few years ago.
And he's a conservative Democrat, yeah.
He is, but he was also pretty good friends with Elizabeth Epps, who appears to be losing right now, right?
They were the ones behind the big transparency push at the Capitol, said that party leaders were talking behind closed doors and doing shady business. There was like a little deal to sort it out and give them some of what they wanted. But yes, Epps and Marshall, very closely aligned. They kind of have some personalities that are similar. They're very bombastic and that kind of thing.
Correct. And so, but he's on the outs with his party now, with the Democrats. So they may not be putting money into his race come the general election, which means, it gives the doors open for, the Republican to win no matter who it is. I think the other thing is, I don't think with this one that you can say that Dave Williams picked this one. There was a lot of other internal stuff going on in Douglas County. A lot of other Republicans, established Republicans, I guess is what we're calling them now, that were supporting Laura Thomas's opponent and put a lot of money in against her. So
yeah, she's got a lot of enemies in Douglas County.
She does.
Your other two commissioners down there don't really like her. They've been at loggerheads for a long time.
Yeah.
She's been involved in politics there for a very long time.
So, my point is, here's Dave Williams just being an opportunist and taking advantage of that.
You're not going to give Dave Williams that win?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to give it to him. I don't think he's that smart, quite frankly, to be able to have done that. He just jumped on something that he knew wasn't going to happen.
I want to look at one more race from the state legislature, and then I have a final question for you. This is House Race 45. This is in Highlands Ranch. This is another race in which the Colorado GOP has made an endorsement, and they went with Bill Jack, who currently trails by 12 points to Max Brooks there. Max Brooks was endorsed by sitting State Representative Lisa Frizzell, who previously held this seat, Sheriff Darren Weekly, and some other establishment Republicans. So that is shaping up to be another loss for the Colorado GOP. Senator Kirkmeyer, my last question for you in this visit together. You kind of said establishment Republicans, if that's what we're calling them now. As a journalist who covers politics, I don't really know how to fairly describe the split within your party, within the Republican Party. Because it's not necessarily a conservative, moderate split. It's not always a Trump versus never Trump split. How do you describe yourself and the people who think like you in the party? Because you're the targets of your party leadership right now.
Yeah, the GOP party leadership, but I describe myself as a conservative. I'm not on the fringe, I'm not the extreme. I actually want to work with people and govern and do what's right by the state of Colorado, and let's get some good government stuff done. And, you know, they don't want to accomplish anything. It's just all about anti-government. I'm not anti-government. I think there's a role for government. But again, I think there are conservatives, and if they don't like us, they just start doing the name calling. And I think that maybe came down from the national level where all of a sudden it became okay to start name calling people, which is very childish. I mean, I'm not in junior high, and most of my colleagues are not either. So maybe they could stop with the name calling, and maybe we could just all realize that we're conservative Republicans and our message is clear.